and we're trying to win. We're trying to win. We don't apologize for it. We're trying to win championships. We're trying to get to the postseason and do it year after year. So, I think that was all done for sure.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Marty Time TV and the Section 1904 podcast. I am Marty Caswell. That is Darren Smith. We are brought to you by the all-new Humboldt Casino Resort, the Players Place. I'm going to go ahead and start with a disclaimer for today. There's been nonstop drilling downstairs, upstairs, because there's a problem with the water here in this building, and it has been just around the clock. The water's off for like 10 hours today.
Right.
So you're gonna be here. It's gonna come through. I will try to use the mute button, but I apologize in advance for all what you're gonna hear.
For drilling,
Darren?
Lots of drilling going on in Pacific Beach. That's what you're telling us?
Non-stop drilling upstairs and downstairs.
Drilling.
I know.
That's why people choose to live there, I suppose. Yeah. Marty, how was your weekend?
Steamy. It was muggy. Yeah. It was hot. It was good. Yesterday was a busy day at Petco Park, and I know you were at Snapdragon Stadium, Darren, for Leagues Cup. Yeah. So, but it was just good. It was just good to be. It was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah. It's warm.
Yeah, it's warm.
Steamy.
Yep.
These are the 2 weeks of the year that those of us without air conditioning are just trying to suffer through.
Yeah.
I was in the car yesterday driving up the Snapdragon, and I was like, oh, this air conditioning feels so good. It just feels so good in the car to have some air conditioning because, you kind of forget when you don't have it. And most of us that live by the beach, we just open our windows. But there was those 2 weeks, usually in August, 2-3 weeks, maybe tops, where everything in the house is just kind of wet. And, even like your floors,
it's disgusting.
Television is sweaty. You know what I mean?
It's so gross right now.
There's only so many fans you can put on yourself. So we are definitely in that space here. But yeah, fun. It looked fun at Petco Park, I will say. And now 3 games against the best team in all of Major League Baseball, a team with the best run differential, Marty.
Wow.
With the Milwaukee Brewers, a team that has been a bit controversial through some of its decision-making over the last couple of weeks with the trade deadline.
Right.
I read an interesting piece this morning at The Athletic. I don't know if you saw it. It was written by Britt Giroli.
Okay.
And essentially, it's like, her premise, and maybe this is just my takeaway, was, hey, shouldn't we appreciate general managers like AJ Preller? Because he just goes for it all the time. And here are the Brewers. Nobody really seems to know what they're doing. And it just made me think, if Preller was the general manager of the Brewers.
Oh, dude.
Do you think we'd be looking at Tarek Skubal here over the next couple of days?
1,000%. Instead, we're going to get actually a Petco look at Casey Mize making his debut at his second start. And there's nowhere to go but up because that first start couldn't have gone any worse for Casey Mize after he was.
We're going to see both of them, right? We're going to see Mize and Ray. Ray versus May. Day game.
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
Ray,
very good.
Why is that a day game, by the way? Why are you doing the Brewers a favor? The Brewers are going to the Dodgers. Did you know that? That after this, the Brewers go through San Diego, then they go to L.A.
Wow.
And they will see Skubal. They are scheduled to see Skubal in the final game of that series against the Dodgers. Maybe you can catch the Brewers looking ahead a little bit. Then again, the way the Padres are playing, they're playing pretty well. They don't have to count on somebody else looking forward to the next series. So we'll see Pat Murphy back in town, Marty. I'm sure you'll be making your way over to the visiting side of Petco Park so you can say hello to Murph.
I'll go say hi to Murph.
A fun conversation before a game, hanging around outside of the dugout.
Yeah, very candid. And I want to ask him if he's carrying pizza in his pocket. There was like a really funny piece about him last year. This guy like walks around with like sandwiches in his back pocket. He has like snacks, pizzas, hot dogs ready to go, all at his disposal.
In your pocket,
I'm not gonna ask the question. By the way, speaking of things going I'm asking that question. Speaking of things going the Padres' way, they're not going to get Mizrowski. They're not going to get the best pitcher in baseball during this series. So the Padres are lucky.
They're saving him for the Dodgers.
Yeah, I like that, right? And I'm sure there's going to be
pitching in that series, and I think Yamamoto's pitching in that series, and then Skubal's pitching in that series. So that's listen, we'll focus on the Padres and what's happening at Petco Park. But seriously, that's fun. That's a fun road trip for the Brewers for the next 6 days.
Yeah, it's a fun week. It's going to be a fun week of scoreboard watching. By the way, it just makes me think that yesterday's game was a must-win. Padres, it was an absolute must-win game. You already knew that the Diamondbacks, the team that you were chasing, had won that game. The Dodgers are just playing some putrid baseball right now. Right, exactly, right? But that you had to win that game because the Diamondbacks are going to play the Rockies next. And again, the Padres are being tested with the best team in baseball in the Milwaukee Brewers, and they are playing for something. You want to have that home field advantage throughout the postseason. So that was one they had to win. That was. I know we can go ahead and maybe overdo it a bit much, but that was a pretty complete game. The pitching was outstanding. Randy Vasquez gave 2-1 home early, but the way the bullpen responded, just shut down 98 pitches total, allowed 2 hits the entire game, and the Padres offense just kept chipping away. The big thing that we talk about, Darren, is it's about who's delivering the wins. When Fernando Tatís and Jackson Merrill are the players that are carrying this offense, carrying this team, I think you feel a little bit better about what this team is.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of what you built your team around.
Yeah.
You didn't build it really around some of the pieces that you picked up off the scrap heap. No offense to Austin Hayes, no offense to Gavin Sheets, but you built this team around Fernando Tatís Jr. and Jackson Merrill.
Yeah.
These are the guys that you gave the big money contracts to. So you're right. I also would toss out there, Marty, I thought it was a pretty good performance, and I realized that I'm partial to this guy. I thought it was a really good performance from Randy Vasquez. You mentioned he gives up the home run in the first inning, and you're taking the field later in the day because you're on NBC.
Right.
And I wish I had seen the broadcast. Maybe I can go find it on Peacock.
Yeah,
I'm
PV
not
and
sure how
Blummer.
that works, but I would like to go back and watch it because I heard good things about the broadcast with 2 guys that we like a lot, Jake Peavy and Jeff Blum, who we had on Friar Territory, I think, last week. Was it Friar Territory or was it this show? I always
it was on Friar Territory. And by the way, that's a big deal because usually when it's not Don or Mud, everyone hates the broadcast, right? They're prepared to hate immediately, but those are 2 dudes. Those are dudes that can speak. Yeah. And they speak well, and they're a lot of fun. They're great storytellers. So
but your point is right. Here you think that the Dodgers are going to do the Padres a favor, and instead it's the Diamondbacks taking 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And then the Phillies, who dropped 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays, they win. They win in a walk-off against the Blue Jays on Sunday. So now you've seen the 2 teams ahead of you, right? And it's kind of goofy to look at it. The Padres are 62 and 57. They're 1 back in the standings of the Diamondbacks, which is accurate. They're actually kind of 2 back of the Phillies because the Phillies, as we mentioned a time or 2, own the tiebreaker.
Right.
So, all right. So now the Phillies have won and the Diamondbacks have taken 2 out of 3. So you're not getting any help from the Dodgers. The one time you feel like you want some help from them, and you might actually make the case that, we'd like to see the Dodgers win, but you're taken to the field later, Marty, and you've already seen these teams win. And you're right. Now all of a sudden you go to bed Sunday night, you're 2 games back, and you're really kind of 3 back of the Phillies because of the tiebreaker, and then you're facing the Brewers. And you find yourself in a 2-0 hole.
You're not getting help from the Rockies.
Randy Vasquez settles down, and he retired the next 10 guys. I've said this all season long. I'm a Randy Vasquez believer. I know maybe he's not as good as I might have claimed, but he's better than some of these other guys that they've been trotting out there on a regular basis. I will stand by that for sure. And his previous start, and then settling down in this one, and giving the team 5 innings, and retiring the last 10 that he faced, and giving his manager something to think about before he went into the bullpen. I thought that was significant for Vasquez. I do. Again, and I'm a guy.
No, I would agree.
But I did. And I agree about the offense, hitting 4 home runs and playing the way they play. I go all that. Jackson getting the team right back there when they fall behind 2. All of that stuff we can talk. And like what Jackson Merrill's done since the beginning of July is very reminiscent of what it was that he did in September last year, what he did in September and beyond last year. Because, there were some questions, I will tell you, not from whom, but I would say maybe 2 months ago, I remember a conversation what if this is just who Jackson Merrill is? What if he's, had that good first year and second in the Rookie of the Year, and then second season kind of hurt, and what if this is just what Jackson Merrill is? How do we really even know? You know what I mean? He hasn't been around that long. But I think this is much more the version of what people want. He said 10 of his 18 home runs, I think, since July 1st. So that's why they wanted to invest in him. And I agree with what you say. I think that there is, for a young player, he's 22, 23, somewhere in that range. He is somebody who I think provides a little bit of an emotional lift for the team, in ways that, not everybody can, and not everybody's wired for it.
Right.
He's
wired that way.
Those guys.
Yeah. And I think he's visibly worn his struggles. You could see the frustration every single day, pre and post. So it's good to see. Just real quick, here's just I meant to use this as an open, but I'm having technical problems. This is Fernando briefly. Just means I know. Now it's a good pause. So hang on. Here's Fernando from yesterday at the same time.
It's huge, and when we're going, it's just special, and take it, everybody just just gets contagious of it. So we better keep it up, especially this time of the year.
Yeah, it's just different when it's those two guys carrying the team rather than us talking about, hey, well, Samad Taylor, where would the Padres be without that spark plug, right. Samad Taylor? It's just a different thing, and the guys in that clubhouse know, because this is who they were depending on. And even Stanman's comments, like Stanman would get not defensive, right? He's great the way he deals with great questions, with dumb questions. He doesn't get defensive, but he would say, "What do you mean? Where's Fernando been? He's never been gone. I trust in that guy." This is a Fernando. Huge, clutch home run. That's a blast to Western Metal. That is what, to me, is the most encouraging, watching him play that kind of baseball and be that player. More slug, not just singles.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. I think it's hard for me to separate like what this entire season has been, but yes, you're right. He's a player who we've always said this about Fernando. He's there to provide the big moments.
Yes.
And, that is a moment. Like, he's a moments guy, and he was anything but a moments guy. It's like everybody's like, oh, he's having this great season. You say, well, what has he done? Name one thing that he's done that's memorable. Okay, I get it. He's had a couple of base hits to right field. He's going the opposite way. I'm not going to pretend like I understand anything about his batting stance. There's enough of those type of experts out there. You don't need me to chime in on it, whether he's got an open stance, closed stance, whatever he's doing. I don't, standing close to the plate, away from the plate. It's not my business. It's not my area of expertise. I'll let other people break it down. But whatever he's doing, like, it seems like he's just starting to resemble himself. But, again, like, it just, I don't know. There's just so much around him sometimes, why are they batting him in the order? Like, why were we even talking about that? Why were we even talking about that? I mean, it's so confusing why we wasted our time talking about where he's going to bat in the batting order. And that some people, like lapdogs here, just ran to defend it. Like, oh yeah, of course he should bat fifth. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You should bat fifth. Like, are you crazy?
Listen, Darren, we needed a topic to get us through spring training.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen, it's not like they didn't do it. I mean, like, they actually did it. But anyhow, I'm with you. He's there to provide big moments, and he's had a couple of them. That was a home run on, they lost the game on Friday, but there was a little, little narrative, shimmy there to that homer, and then the one that he hit on Sunday, which proved to be the game winner, was a big one as well. But it was home run derby. The guys had 4 home runs. I mean, they had 4 home runs against the Houston Astros on Sunday. So, as we said, heading into the weekend here, we weren't quite sure what to make of the Astros because, they're a team a couple games over 500 in the American League, and the American League doesn't feel like it's very good. But, now you're going up in weight class. Yeah. It feels like you're going up in weight class against the Milwaukee Brewers. So, this to me, and I don't want to, get wrapped up in measuring stick and, whatever it is that happens here is going to be a referendum on the postseason, all that sort of stuff. No, it's a team that has the best record in baseball, best run differential in baseball, and nobody thinks that they're going to represent the National League because everybody feels like it's eventuality that they're just going to lose to the Dodgers anyway. So, I don't want to get too wrapped up. The Padres don't have time to think about what this means for the road ahead. They need to be thinking like, okay, Arizona now is playing Colorado to Marty's point. The Phillies are playing the Nationals for 4 days, and then they play the shitty Orioles. So, it's not like you're getting a lot of help here on the schedule, but, who knows? Who knows with any of this stuff, right? Kind of weird things happen, and you get kind of caught looking ahead, what you think's a bigger series, et cetera. Yeah. Might the Brewers do a turn to that? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. It'll be Mize, like you said. I think it'll be a big one for him. It'll be Buehler tomorrow, and then it'll be Robbie Ray. So
also coming off two guys coming off disappointing debuts for the team, for their new team. So
and one making his own debut. So
yes, exactly.
I mean, good crowds, Petco Park. People seem into it. I think it's fun. I do. I think this is like better than the alternative, which is to not be, to be like the Nationals, or be one of these teams that decided it was going to pull the plug on its season. I'd much rather be here and talking about this and talking about, okay, like this is good timing from Jackson Merrill. This is good timing from Fernando Tatís Jr. This is good timing from Randy Vasquez. This is good timing from Freddie for me, right?
Healthy. By the way, I think it's important to point that out that Freddie Fermin got banged up, concussion IL, twice this season. Yep. So I think people were quick to judge about this guy sucks, man. That was a terrible trade, blah blah blah. Kolek, Berger, by the way, both guys have Tommy John are out for the season for the Royals. But I think it's important to see the production they're getting from Freddie Fermin when he is healthy.
Yeah. It's a big deal. And again, I know Manny's sort of like, well, what's going on here? Is he going to find a lane? I don't know. but in the interim, you can be back to relying on these other guys.
Yes.
Until you can't. You know what I mean? Which has sort of been the story of the season. But speaking of Tommy John, Marty, I do think one of the stories of the weekend was Nick Pivetta speaking for the first time. Like, let's listen to Nick Pivetta, because I don't know what your takeaways were from this press session. I watched this whole thing, and I don't know exactly what it was, what message he was trying to get across, but he was trying to explain this weird exit from his rehab start in Lake Elsinore. I don't know that he succeeded in doing that. But he didn't. Then he talked about throwing, and he didn't want to get into some things. He
did not want to get into the deadline. Like, he did not want to be asked about the August 22nd deadline, but I think you have to ask that question. I think AJ Caswell asked it. You have to ask it. But before I play a portion of this from Nick Pivetta, Darren, did you come away more encouraged or less encouraged about Pivetta? Forget the date. Forget that date. August 22nd. I mean, more encouraged or less encouraged to pitch again this season? And I'll play it.
I think he thinks he's going to pitch. It feels like the team isn't so sure. And again, we can dig in on that, and we can theorize that maybe there's something to this, that the team has decided this is an opportunity for them to get out from the $32 million that he potentially is owed. That one would think Nick Pivetta at this point, given the season that he just had, is likely to opt into, at least for 2027. Okay. And then I think there's another option for 2028. And the Padres might be thinking this might be, the eject button for us. This might be the escape hatch here. I'm not saying it's all coming down to money, but money's kind of a big deal.
Shapes a lot of decisions.
I think he's Marty making the case that he should continue pitching, but I think his manager has sort of suggested, as much as anybody, like, hey, that guy walked off the mound. We all know what that means. That's not good. And Nick Pivetta's there like, yeah, it's fine. I went and threw, and I'll throw again. I guess he might be making a rehab start today, tomorrow, or something. I don't know. It's just very bizarre. The whole situation's bizarre. I hate gravitating towards thinking this is just about the money of it, but sometimes
that's a pretty big deal.
It's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal, especially, if a guy wants to understandably opt in to potentially make $32 million. And the team's like, yeah, why would we do that? Like, what's that all about? So, it just feels like there's a little disagreement about things, that the team doesn't seem like it's so sure. And he seems more convinced than others that he's going to pitch again. So that was my read on it. I don't know. You're standing there and you have a chance to chat with our colleagues. What was everybody else's takeaway? I
think there was some organizational surprise that he walked off.
Yeah.
If he was okay. But I'm also thinking about what Joe said, that the biggest thing is like the confidence factor, the fear of letting it rip. And he felt something. We just don't know how bad it was. All right, here's Pivetta, first time talking in a while.
Interesting rehab assignment. What can you tell us about the experience?
Yeah. First two guys felt really good, strong, healthy. Threw a couple pitches, continued to kind of feel the same type of sensation. And then I just kind of got to a point where I didn't really want to pitch anymore, and I just kind of walked up the mound.
What were you feeling?
It just didn't feel right. I didn't really want to push it. Felt like, if I just came off, that I kind of regroup, kind of see how I feel the next day and kind of move forward. And, woke up the next morning feeling generally good. Last couple of days have been good. Thrown, played catch a couple times, stretched out to about 120, 150 feet today. And that felt good. So just kind of living it day by day and seeing how things go.
After you walked off the mound, you go into the dugout. How long were you there, and what were you feeling that sort of compelled you to then go and throw some more?
Yeah, I just feel like I took some time, went through my evaluation. Nothing really sparked anything for me that kind of created the same thing, so we just decided to go throw some balls into the wall and see how it turned out. Was able to throw about 10 to 15 good fastballs at a good clip as best I could with no cleats on. And then I threw a couple curveballs and one sweeper and wasn't able to recreate any same sensation or any feeling. So take it from what it is and how I'm feeling day to day and just kind of move forward.
Were you nervous at all when you decided you were going to try to resume throwing after what you'd experienced walking off the mound?
I don't know. I think for me, I just kind of focus on a day-to-day aspect, and what my goals are is to, help contribute with my teammates and play baseball again. So I think anytime I'm able to wake up in the morning, feel good, go out and throw is a good day, and just kind of move forward in that general direction.
What you were feeling that caused you to walk off the mound, had you been feeling that prior in any of the other rehab situations, or was it totally new?
I think for me, it's just I felt something. I try to go back and I try to think like what exactly it was, and for me, it's just the way that I wake up the next day is kind of the general direction of what I choose to kind of think about and how I choose to go about this.
How encouraged are you that you're going to be able to get back on the mound soon?
I think for me, just day to day, I played catch today, which felt good. I'll play catch tomorrow, and it'll feel good. And we'll just kind of go from there and just go with how I feel each day. I'm not going to put a timetable on anything. I'm not going to say I'm going to throw a bullpen X, Y, or Z. I'm just going to play catch again tomorrow and move forward.
Are you feeling about the same as you did, say, last week before this start?
I would say I feel generally very good today. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us what you're kind of going through? Is it a matter of pitching through a certain level of pain? Are you trying to hit like no pain when you're pitching? I was good for 2 batters. It wasn't good after I threw a pitch against a batter, the third batter, and it didn't feel good. I woke up the next morning, felt good. That's kind of the general world I live in right now. That's what I'm wondering.
I don't know. I don't have an explanation. I just think I wake up in the morning, I feel good. I go and play catch today, I feel good, and I move forward.
In general, has this rehab been different than anything you've experienced before? Or?
Never really experienced rehab to a longer length. I think the most I missed in Boston was maybe about a month, maybe a little less. So I think this is all uncharted waters for me.
Do you see if the WBC to help this team win? How frustrating has this year been for you the way it's gone?
I look at it in the eyes of like enjoying to watch my teammates have success and play and win baseball games. I don't think about it as like, woe is me, I'm missing out. So I have a lot of joy. I have a lot of people in here that have achieved a lot of great things. I have a joy for Joe, who's doing great things right now and moving forward in his process. Great joy for what the guys are doing right now and how they're playing. So that's what I choose to focus on. I don't choose to focus on myself.
Are you eager to get in the mix, though?
Of course, always. Yeah, I want to play baseball. That's my number one priority. I just want to play baseball.
The fact that you haven't been through this before, could that be a part of it, Nick, that you're learning how to deal with the sensation?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Except I'm not working with doctors.
I know.
And
I agree, and I don't really know day to day either. It's for me, if I'm being completely honest, it's a lot of unknowns. So I feel good today, and I move on till tomorrow.
What led you to throw the extra pitches? Why was that so important to you in that moment?
I don't know. Hard to explain. I think it's just something that occurs in the moment. Yeah, it's just I just felt like I wanted to do it, and I just went and did it.
Were you more encouraged after you did that about the state of your?
I think any time that I'm feeling better and I'm not having the same sensation, I'm more encouraged, and I choose to live in that kind of realm.
There is this potential deadline looming of sorts.
I'm not going to talk about it right now.
Which pitch was it you threw when you felt it?
Fastball.
I know you and Joe coming from different injuries, and Joe mentioned that sometimes when a pitcher's rehabbing, there's like a fear of letting it go. Is there any of that when you're pitching?
No, never. No. Good. Is that everything? Good. Everybody's got everything. Okay, cool. Perfect.
All right. Well, hey, listen, good for him. We said last week he hadn't spoken and declined the opportunity to speak up in Lake Elsinore, so went and tried to clear some things up. I don't know that he succeeded in that, Marty, but I feel like, you could kind of, you can understand this like in 360 degrees. You can certainly understand from the player. He seems like he's searching for something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like mentally, he's like, I don't know. That whole explanation doesn't exactly make sense. And he's like, yeah, I faced 2 batters and then I just didn't want to pitch anymore. So I just left. He just left the game. It's a game. You know what I mean? You're not pitching in a bullpen session there. You're pitching in a game, and you can say, well, it's only Lake Elsinore. What's the big deal?
But first time in that simulation, an actual game, not just.
But it's a game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's guys standing around the field in 100-degree heat. Like, what is going on here? There's an umpire. Like, what is he doing?
Yeah, there was that.
Like, the manager of the team and other people are probably like, what is happening here? Why is this guy just walking off? If you just walk away from a bullpen session, that's a totally different thing. Like, you're like, hey, I'm going to go pitch in this game. And then you're just like, yeah, I'm out. I don't feel like pitching anymore. It's pretty much exactly what he said. I just didn't want to pitch anymore. So I just walked off the field and then did something for a couple of minutes, took his cleats off and threw a baseball against the wall, I guess. It's just like all of it. And then, how did you feel? It's like, well, what did you feel in that moment? And he starts talking about, well, it's all about how I feel the next day. So that's what I was thinking in the moment. That's what you were thinking when you walked up the field. You were thinking about how you feel the next day, which again, like, I just feel like this guy's probably, and understandably so, like nervous. Like this is his career, right? And this is the first time it sounds like he's gone through anything like this. He's been on the IL before for, I think, 4 weeks, 5 weeks when he was in Boston. Right. First time that he's ever dealing with something on this level. So you can understand a guy like, holy crap, man. Like, not only am I a bit worried about my career, there's also this $32 million hanging around here that, is life-changing, even with the money that he's making this year, Marty, which, 19 million is a lot, but 32 is a lot more, especially for a guy now who probably is looking around, like sees what happened with Darvish and sees what the timeline was with Joe Musgrove. And it's like, yep, man, this is, this is frightening. Like this makes people nervous. And
especially with a lockout coming, especially with
seems like he's trying to convince himself of I think I'm going to be okay. I think I'm going to be okay. I feel good now. And that's important. But I just didn't feel like pitching. And if you're the Padres, you can understand it too, because they're like, we can't run the risk of throwing this guy back into a big league game. What's he going to do? He's just going to walk up the mound? Like we can't have that, and not that everybody, like every pitcher can just walk off a mound. That's just the way pitching goes, like it's not a natural thing to watch your shoulder and your elbow and all that. But, if you're the Padres, you're like, how can we feel good about this?
Okay, here's a comment from Jack. Okay, it says it was unprofessional to stomp off the mound, but I give him a pass. A single A game versus his future in the balance. I don't know that it was like stomping off the mound. I think in that moment, most of us who were there at that maybe thought it was like a strike 3 call and that the inning was over. And he is saying, at least the Padres were saying that he felt something. So if he felt something, what are you supposed to do? You don't continue pitching? You leave. Maybe you're preferring for him to summon the trainer over and say, listen, I felt something, I got to go, right? That would happen a lot. We see that happen, in a regular game. But in that moment, in Lake Elsinore, doesn't have his regular training staff with him. Why? I don't think you throw another pitch. You exit the game if you feel something, if that's what happened.
I guess. I don't know.
Right?
I've never seen anything like that.
I know. It was,
and not that I've watched every minor league game and every rehab start. I mean, did Tyler Glasnow just walk off the mound when he decided he didn't want to pitch anymore in that game? Did Joe Musgrove do that? And you're right. Like, it's not the normal training staff, but one would presume that there's somebody there from the Padres, or at least you're going to be like, hey, like, you've played enough baseball in your life that get somebody up here, like just kind of walking off. And to your point, people came up with the theory that he thought it was strike 3, but that's not true. I mean, it's not what he said. So, we kind of have to just rely on him here, that it wasn't just because he was complaining about the umpire, which, was just a theory. And it's a theory now that we know is not true.
Right.
So, again, and then he's like, well, then I took my cleats off and I threw against the wall and like, well, who told you to do that? Like, where did that advice come from? Or is that something that you're like, no, I need to do something here so that it's not just me walking, Again, like I think it's understandable, Marty, from everybody's angle. I understand the trepidation from the organization, and I also understand that a pitcher, could be watching something flash before his eyes like this and think, like,
your future, like, dollar signs. I know.
like imagine how nerve-wracking that would be. If that's you and that's your arm, and this is your opportunity to really, really hit that point of your career. Like, I get it. I do. I understand it. I'm not knocking him. I just think objectively looking at the circumstances and applying what it was that he said, it doesn't quite make a ton of sense when he's like, well, what did you feel in the moment? Well, it's all about how I feel the next day. Well, like, what did you fast forward to the next morning? Like, what does that mean? So, and he's like, hey, I'm just going to tell you, I feel good today. I feel good right now. That's important. And I'm going to try to throw again. And, good for him. I hope it works out. Maybe it was just a bone. I don't know. Marty, I broke my face a couple of weeks ago.
You look good, Darren.
And I can thank you. And I could feel like different pieces of bone sometimes. And I worry about it. Like I was doing some exercise this morning. I was like, oh man, I don't know. Did I, and it's my face, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, geez, am I going to have to go back? So like, not the same thing. I'm not trying to I can't put myself in his shoes. I'm just saying like your body sometimes, especially when you rely on your body. I don't rely on this face for anything. I rely on this mouth.
Your face isn't your money maker?
My face is not my money maker. I never wanted to do YouTube shows, but this is just the reality that we live in. So, again, I can understand that a guy would be like, oh, Jesus, like what is happening here? This doesn't feel good. I'm panicking. And like, he just walks off the mound. And then he's like, oh, that looked bad. So, what can I do to try to make this feel a little bit better? I'll go throw a baseball against the wall. Like, did anybody even see that happen? I don't know. But, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying that he's lying about it, but I am saying he's making sure everybody knows about that, right? He's making sure everybody knows that he threw these extra pitches.
Right. 30.
I guess we'll have to wait
30
to see,
extra
Marty,
pitches
what happens. Is he
in a
scheduled
hitting
to throw
cage.
tomorrow?
I don't know. I don't know. Now, the good news for the Padres is that Joe Musgrove threw a second session, right? So we had the 2 2/3 innings, I think 39 pitches. Nick Elsinore, he threw again yesterday in El Paso. And if I read that correctly, I wasn't there for pregame, so I'm sure we'll get more. Maybe we'll see Joe today. But it sounds like he would be trending to make another start on Friday. And there's speculation it could be with the Padres. I mean, he could be back. Does he now? Whose turn would that be? Do you need to? Do you have him coming out of the bullpen? Do you have back in the rotation? I mean, still needs to build up, right? But
whose turn would that be? Friday? Friday they would be in Cleveland. That would be Michael King. There's an open spot Saturday, the 15th. So I guess you can move everybody around a little bit.
Very interesting.
But, it's Mize tonight, Bueller tomorrow, Ray on Wednesday, day game. King scheduled Friday, Cleveland, on Thursday.
Because that would be Vasquez's turn on Saturday.
Yeah, and maybe you
right?
piggyback.
So you could,
right? Because Joe's Joe's probably going to be capable. Let's say best case scenario, and that would even seem like that was like the best case scenario if he could somehow pitch in the big leagues by the end of the week. Geez, I would think you're probably going to want to have some backup there for him. And
but maybe you have
comes in the form of Randy Vasquez. I think that makes a lot of sense,
right? Or maybe he has the Kyle Hart role, or maybe you have him start because Joe's always been a starter.
Yeah.
Does it matter for him? I don't know. Different approach?
I don't know either. I mean, this is maybe
it's a good problem to have.
They put
good
Randy
problem to have.
And had him, get familiar a little bit with coming out of the bullpen. But things, these things often change. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way the sport is. Unfortunately, something that nobody anticipates usually does happen. But yeah, I mean, that is the good news. I want to make it clear, like, I am sympathetic towards Nick Pivetta. Yeah. I really am. I think, we've all talked about him, his quirky personality and such. Don't love it. But, to the point that the Post said a little bit earlier, you give him a pass for that because, again, it's his career. Just as awkward. It's just like an awkward thing to do. I just, I think you probably don't want to ever do that again, So, and again, it's like, they all, like Elsinore's in the Padres system. Like, these are Padre players looking up for him. But at any rate,
it was strange.
I don't know, Marty. It just seems like there's a little disagreement from the two sides, from the organization and from the player, about his current status. It just feels that way. And then it's hard not to say, well, this is, probably has something to do with the money. Because it always does.
If Nick does throw a rehab, if he has a rehab outing this week, comes out okay, has another one, we're going to assume that the Padres are going to add him by the 22nd. What if they don't? What if they don't?
Like, 12 days away.
That is just a crazy situation. And also, if you have it's just weird. Really, really
good.
weird.
I hope he does come back. I hope he does.
I hope so too.
Padres in a position where they have to, to decide whether or not to move forward with this contract. I mean, that would be the best case scenario, that he honestly comes back, and even if he comes back after the 22nd, right, which is the deadline, the 22nd.
Yep.
And I don't know how the mechanics of that work. Like, do they have to tell him at the end of the year? Do they tell him in the moment? And then, like, what does that mean for Pivetta? Like, let's just say the Padres keep him out until after the 22nd, and he starts making the case that he should be pitching, right? Because that's what's, like you said, he's being a really good teammate there too, Marty. Like, I'm enjoying the success of the guys. I'm enjoying watching Musgrove. He's saying a lot of smart things here. Like, I'm being a good teammate throughout all this. I'm being a really good teammate. I'm enjoying it. I'm not thinking about myself, right? Like, we all heard that. And, I'm not questioning the sincerity of it. I don't know him at all. Never met him. But, what if we get to the point where all of a sudden it's like, well, I think I should be back, and they're pushing me back a little bit. And is this because of the money? Then, like, what is the sense of urgency going to be to come back? You know what I mean? Like, is he like, well, this team's bailing on me. Like, why should I rush back?
Why am I pushing? Exactly.
Like, what am I going to completely blow out here because I'm rushing back? If he gets the sense that this team might void that contract, is that what he, like what's the motivation going to be for him to come rushing back and potentially blow out completely? I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's so many different layers to this, to the Pivetta stuff. I just hope he comes back and he pitches and he's Nick Pivetta, because that would be the best case scenario for everybody. And then, maybe to the point here from Jack CK25,
That's a good,
maybe Preller can rework the deal. And maybe there is an opportunity and Preller can say, hey, listen, we're not going to give you the 30, we'll do something. Or maybe he goes, hey, kick rocks, Preller.
Is this like Darren, is this like a Mike Clevenger deal? Do you remember? Do you remember that press release?
Yeah.
We have signed Mike Clevenger extension. Oh, by the way, Tommy John, we're cutting his arm off. Same thing. That was just at the very, very bottom. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, again, it's really like from a news standpoint, it's a fascinating, it really is a very interesting story, just in terms of like deadlines and money and him and health. And like now you've added these other guys and here's this other dude coming back. And like this other guy seems like he's kind of, he's kind of cruising back towards a return, and Joe Musgrove, and I don't know. There's just like, I hope he comes back and forces the Padres' hand, not because, I want to see them out the money, but that's, maybe he pitches well enough. He's like, well, I'm going to opt out of this. I doubt it, but there's a reason why the Padres had these clauses in his contract too. So like they saw something or realized something that, you don't see in a lot of these other contracts. So, there's also this expectation now because Yu Darvish just opted out of his deal, and everybody's like, "Oh, like what an honorable human being Yu Darvish is." Like everybody should just do that. Like that's not realistic. So I don't know. I kind of curious to see the way this goes. If he pitches again, are they just like, "Yeah, fuck it, let the guy pitch again. We don't care," or are they like, "Yeah, why don't we not do that?" Because he was pitching with Musgrove, and then he wasn't pitching with Musgrove. So obviously something has changed, right? Because he didn't go and he didn't piggyback.
Right, they piggybacked. Right,
he did the first time. So
he was just playing catch. He's playing catch. He's not back to throwing.
Which like was he or did anybody see that? I'm not sure. I don't know, Marty. Lots of palace intrigue there when it comes to Nick Pivetta.
And the thing is that nobody has to rush back because, well, it depends. Let's see what happens with the Casey Mize. Let's not get too far ahead. Let's see what happens with Mize, Bueller.
What would you do? I mean, we talked about this either here or Foreign Territory. Like, I would do anything to get back on the field.
Oh, same here.
I don't care. Like I'll take my chances. Like, inject it. Put something in there. What do you got for me, Doc? Put anything in there. I don't care. Just get me out there. But it's easy for me to sit here and say, especially not because of the money, but because like this is a very fragile career, unfortunately. Especially for the guys that pitch in that pitch, guys that play that position. So,
one pitch.
Anyhow, what else, Marty, from over the weekend really stood out? You were a Petco on Friday and Sunday.
Yes.
Did you go on Saturday?
Friday and Sunday. Did I go Saturday? I did not go on Saturday. Spoke with Kate. Got to meet Casey Mize on Friday. He goes tonight. You and I had discussed. Yeah, pretty well. You and I had discussed before. Just if it was. Did he had Campusano right catching him in his debut? Is that right? So here's just well, I'll give you one thing from Casey Mize. I asked him about his new teammates, and he brought up the catching situation. Here we go.
So when we go out there and compete, we're all aligned, which is it's difficult to do, but it's something, it's a tough job. A lot of what we do is difficult, so it'll be fun.
What's it like to be like?
You can just get to know each other real quickly and be able to relay that to your teammates, and they can relay what they do to me. And, that way we can just get to know each other real quickly so when we go out there and compete, we're all aligned, which is it's difficult to do, just to get comfortable with everybody. And, it's been great. Everybody's been super welcoming. So I'm just going to continue to build those relationships and build that rapport with my teammates and my catchers, because obviously the catcher-pitcher relationship is super important. So going to keep leaning into those guys and, learning from them and, watching how they call the games and setups and things like that. And we'll keep learning from one another.
Okay, sorry. I thought I had the clip exactly where I wanted it, asking about getting to know his new teammates, the new catchers, and what a big deal that was. And I fast forwarded too much, so my apologies.
Okay. What did he say? I stopped paying attention.
It's important. Okay. The pitcher catcher relationship.
Okay, good. It's good to know.
Whole new system. Yes.
Good insight.
Oh boy. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
That was definitely.
Brewers will sweep the Padres. Watch Mize get lit up tonight. Also, well, that would not be good.
That would not be great.
That would not be great. A lot of pressure on Mize. A lot of pressure on Mize and Robbie Ray on Wednesday, right?
Wednesday against Dustin May. May and Ray on Wednesday in a day game. So
How much differently do you feel about this team if even one of those guys can Mize, Ray?
Oh,
one of them.
I mean, I think those guys will be fine.
I agree.
I think they'll be fine. I think you have to take into account these guys switching teams, totally new system, totally new locker room. You know, think about anybody who starts a job. You're probably not at your best, right? Like when we started at iHeart, I was like, how do you turn these microphones on? I don't know how to do this. And
I
so
never
many
learned the
times we
mute. I
started
never
shows and
learned
I
the
was
mute
like,
button.
and I was just talking to like to nobody because I didn't know how to turn the microphone on. So probably not our greatest radio of all time, but I can understand. And then I don't know if these guys are married or not. You're thinking like, hey, where's my family?
Yeah.
Where do I set them up? Am I just going to live in this hotel? Like how does that happen? And they do everything they can to try to make these guys' lives as easy as possible, seamless as possible, transitioning from Detroit, transitioning from San Francisco. So, you know, you try to do it as quick as best you can, but still, I think everybody understands. The kids are back in school, Marty. How did that go today? How was dropping August off at school today? Let's talk about interesting things.
How about waking up? Like really quick, like Bobby Ray has 4 kids. Like he has, I think they're all girls. It's like, just imagine getting ready. Just imagine going, like switching. And he didn't have to go too far. So I'm just go San Diego, but I'm not sure I'm not sure where home base is, but man, just imagine that chaos of 4 kids getting all ready for school. Everything is new teachers, new routine, all that fun stuff. And then, oh, by the way, completely new team, new catchers, new everything. So
yeah,
bit of a mess.
You tried to get your nephew to school this morning and it feels like you got run through the ringer. So
it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
How'd that go? Tell us about dropping August off at school. I'd love to hear that stuff.
No, it was good. The big challenge was getting him up on time and him having to have the perfect hair gel and making sure that he has to eat.
Hair gel.
He does his own hair. He's got the
Did he get a haircut for his first day of school?
I got the haircut a little while ago, but I lost another tooth, and so just getting him ready. New school, new teammates, new classmates, new teacher, all that fun stuff. So no, it was good. It's
okay.
That's why it's so peaceful today. No distractions. So the construction has stopped. The drilling has stopped for a while. So I feel pretty good.
And is there like, you know, how does it work dropping kids off at school? Like, is there like crossing guards and things like that?
No crossing
guards. You have
guards.
to navigate your way around?
No crossing guards.
Is there a big line of people with children in vehicles just waiting to drop them off at the front door?
Kind of a mess. It's a reminder that cursing is bad, especially when people don't move or they're illegally parked or they're blocking you. So yeah, it was a bit stressful today, but it's good.
Okay.
It's early.
All mapped out.
August 10th. Early.
Ridiculous.
Hey, by the way,
I never went to school until Labor Day. I'm positive.
I know. I am positive too. Are you going to the celebration for Billy Ray this evening in Encinitas?
It's a good question, Marty. I was just looking at the train schedule.
Yeah,
because
5 o'clock, right? American Legion?
It starts at 5. So Scott Kaplan, our former colleague, is hosting a show. 5 o'clock, it's from the American Legion in Encinitas, which I do believe is open to the public. I think this is an open to the public event.
Yes.
If you want to go celebrate Billy Ray Smith's life, Billy Ray, who would have been 65 years old today.
Wow.
Today is Billy Ray's birthday. His ghost birthday, as it's referred to. And so Scott is hosting a celebration of life from 5 till 7. You and I were both invited. I think you have school and such. So driving to Encinitas at 5 o'clock, as anybody who knows me will tell you, is
I know.
Like,
I really want to be there.
I think might take the train up.
Okay.
Let me know looking at the coaster schedule because it lets you off at Encinitas and it's an 8-minute walk. So I did MapQuest this all out, Mark. Just
okay.
MapQuest.
MapQuest.
I did look through this all. The only problem is the train home is until like 8 o'clock. And I was like, it's a little late. And I haven't watched House of the Dragon. No spoilers.
Okay, I'm not saying a word.
So,
stay off social media.
You know, I'm staying off social media. So I do have to get home and watch that at some point tonight.
I appreciate, by the way, that for
the Xolos and SDFC game.
I appreciate that what they're doing. American Legion is in true Billy Ray fashion. They're going to have Coors Light available, right? Coors Light was a huge sponsor of Scott BR, but also it's the cheeseburgers, the burgers with jalapenos and barbecue sauce. Yeah. That was the specialty. So I love, and they're free, by the way. So if you get a chance to go there and just be around the great friends and just share some good memories of Billy Ray Smith, I'm sure it's going to be quite an event. I really would like to go. Just the timing, man.
Yeah, you and I might be able to coordinate that. Plus, I'm dealing with some East Coast stuff, as you know. So with this situation, which isn't great, I have to have my mother's apartment completely remodeled because it is just not built for somebody who's going to hopefully return home in her new physical condition. Yeah. So I'm literally trying to get contractors squared away to remodel a bathroom from 3,000 miles away. Thankfully, I have friends who are in the construction business who have pointed me in the right direction. But
good.
There's still like logistically, how do I get these people in this house? I'm just going to give people their keys and be like, yeah, go for it. I guess. Not sure. But I'm going to again. I'm going to give it a whirl here today. So it's still sad. I mean, I saw. I don't know. There's a lot of unintended comedy Scott went on with Ted.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Did you watch that?
I need to go back and watch it. I know
they had some technical issues, which
I think that
the unintended comedy of that was like Ted couldn't hear Scott, so he would just ask questions and Scott would just talk and he'd be like, "All right, I don't know what you said, but." Yeah. So thank you, Sean. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So it was funny, but I'm glad that Scott is doing this, and
I think it's great.
Scott has been everywhere and anywhere to talk about Billy Ray. And I don't know if you've heard Scott talk about this, Marty, but he said the last time that he saw BR was just a handful of weeks ago. And Billy Ray didn't recognize Scott.
Oh,
that's how far the dementia had gone. That here's a guy that he literally saw probably more than his wife for 15 years,
100%.
every single day, and it's like, and Scott said I could just tell he didn't know who I was.
Ah, man.
And not to make this, it's not. I'm not trying to say this is about me or you, but I thought about that, because I we both have heard things, over the last couple of years about Billy Ray, his condition. I was like, well, I wonder if he would remember us, if we bumped into him in some sort of setting, and I suspect we'll never know, and it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But hearing that was really heartbreaking. Hearing that was really heartbreaking. You can imagine, for the family, for Kimberly, for Savannah, what that must have been like.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you can't imagine because of how terrible it sounds. But and Scott's like, for all we knew about Billy Ray, big, gregarious personality, larger than life, lit up a room. It's like he's like, this is not, it's just not him. And so I'm going to do my best to get up there. American Legion Encinitas again. It's open to the public.
5 o'clock, right?
5 o'clock. Yep.
5 to 7. Everything I know about
you
those.
need to know, it's an 8-minute walk from the train station.
Well, maybe you can carpool with someone.
Yeah. Maybe I can ride my bike. I think I'm ready. I need a helmet, but
yeah. Did you watch any of the Hall of Fame stuff this weekend?
No.
Drew Brees, Roger Craig, who had a tough announcement that he's dealing with dementia as well.
Who?
Roger Craig.
Oh, Roger Craig. Oh,
yeah.
I thought you said Drew Brees.
No. And who else got in there? Let's see. The kicker, Adam Vinatieri, Luke Kuechly.
Okay.
Luke Kuechly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not really my jam. Marty, did you have any temptation to go see the Chargers when they were at USD?
No.
I know lots of people in local media went out there and put their tripods up and did reports from.
No, those days, my days are done. My days covering the Chargers were ended when Phillip Rivers left.
Even though they're coming, they're
not the same. They're here to practice. Practice.
2 days of practice.
No, but I will say this. I do appreciate that they put the number 54 on the back of the helmet
and the BR. I think
the BR. Yeah. I'm glad they had that there. That's very, very cool. But no, I don't need to. Last year they were here as well. But that was only opened up to season ticket holders. So
I think one day was military, and then the next day was season ticket holders.
Yeah, was that the same thing for this year too? So it's a controlled, safe environment. So
I don't know.
You're not going to have. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why you want to go.
Was anybody flying a plane overhead?
It's expensive.
Where's SD sign guy?
Hey man, the cost of fuel these days, probably not.
I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, I figure that's like all the rage now. People just fly these planes around. Didn't see one yesterday at Snapdragon though. So
okay. By the way, how was it yesterday? Was it sellout?
It was great. It was honestly, it was just a fun, festive atmosphere. Listen, neither one of these teams, talking about SDFC and Club Tijuana, has a chance of advancing in this tournament, which I think both teams are probably okay with. It's like one of these tournaments you're like, yeah, it's fine if we just play 3 games and get back into our league. And, especially when you lose that first one. But it was a fun celebration of the whole region. It really was, because there was a lot of Tijuana fans. There were a lot of, for a lot of us, Marty, this was the team that we were fans of first, like to the point I was like, well, what should I wear to this? I went as a fan. We didn't broadcast the game.
Oh.
So, no, we
okay.
Leagues Cup is a totally different rights holder situation. So it's long and a boring story. I wish we were broadcasting it because it was a lot of fun. There was 32,000 there and really good game, fun game. And, Tijuana brought some, they brought Gilberto Mora, who's their huge superstar. Their 17-year-old
okay.
superstar who's going to get sold sometime in the next year for $25-30 million bucks.
That's so weird, by the way. It's such a weird term, selling teenagers.
Yeah, it's gonna be some good business for Tijuana. But, who knows where he's going to go. He's been linked to every big club in Europe. But he played 80-something minutes, 85 minutes, somewhere in that range. And he was great. And he's a really popular player. I was sitting in a section of younger, I wouldn't call them women, teenagers.
Okay.
Girls, I guess. And every one of them, Marty, phone out, like zooming in with their phone, zooming in on Gilberto Mora. And every time he would come in our area, they would all start chanting like Mora, Mora, which was, explains a little bit of his popularity, the 17-year-old who started all the games not all of them, but played every game for Mexico in the World Cup. And again, he's like a massive superstar who you can watch right across the border. And yet it was SDFC's teenager who scored the goal, Brian Zamble, who got on the board. And, good game. I thought CJ Dos Santos played pretty well. I thought some of the new players played pretty well if you were at this game or if you were watching it. I thought that, Ian Murphy, defender, plays with a little bit of a chip, has a little bit of an edge to him, which I like back there. He was not afraid to mix it up. I thought Gabriel Perani played pretty well, completed all of his passes. He's a little tiki-taka player, so good in the middle of the field, has some technical ability that I think we could use. Still haven't seen the new designated player, Marty. We have not seen him yet, Elias Ashuri, but we will hopefully see him maybe Wednesday or maybe Saturday at LAFC. But listen, even with the win yesterday, SDFC has pretty much no chance of advancing out of this. And again, I'm not saying that they're mailing it in. I think both teams tried, but I think both teams are okay to just get back into their league play coming up next weekend. Club Tijuana is already promoting their match against Cruz Azul, so I don't think they really care about whoever it is that they're playing for their third Leagues Cup match. And SDFC will play somebody. They'll play some players against Puebla on Wednesday, but I think we're all we're focusing on LAFC on Saturday, and especially because it's a short week. It's LAFC, and then it's at Portland midweek, and then it's back home against Colorado. So, you got to get up and start stacking some points here and start stacking some wins. You have pretty much no chance of advancing through this tournament. So I wouldn't invest a ton of time into Wednesday. And the field, I know people have been talking about the field. It looked terrible. Like apparently there was a Zach Bryan couple of concerts last Friday and Saturday. The field looked awful. I asked, did this field, was it not playing okay? And I was told there was no real impact on the quality of the play, that there weren't a lot of complaints about that. But man, the field is, we haven't even gotten to San Diego State yet. And just two concerts, I think, Friday and Saturday last week. Zach Bryan, are you a big Zach Bryan fan? Can you name any Zach Bryan songs?
I cannot. That's country, correct?
I think.
Okay.
Don't know. Not my genre. But whatever happened there, they rolled down some new turf and it just turned brown, and the guys are out there with sand fixing divots. I was told it didn't impact the play.
Okay.
That's just me via text here today. I know it looked bad, but maybe it looked worse than it played, hopefully. And they're expecting it to look much better on Wednesday against Puebla. So hopefully that's going to be some good news. But yeah, it was a fun environment. Again, I love both fan bases, and everybody was enjoying it and celebrating it. And, again, I think they both were kind of into it and going for it, and knowing that their chances of advancing were pretty slim, even for the winner. So, I think some local pride, some local, territorial rights and all that sort of stuff. I think they were into that. And again, I thought it was great that we got to see Gilberto Mora play for 85 minutes, because I wasn't even sure they'd play him. Kraz today writes about it. He's like, why would they even play this guy? This guy's like a $20 million check. What are they doing? They're crazy. But he wants to play. He wants to play. They want to play him. People came to see him, and I thought he played pretty well overall. But some really good play from SDFC. They still gotta convert some of these chances, but did what they had to do, got their win, and again, I'll be out there Wednesday. I don't know what to expect, but
it's a 7:30 kick. LAFC. Nice. Hey, by the way, I asked Manny about Chucky. If you want to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
Does Manny know? Was he like, yeah, what happened to
that? No, he knew. All right, here we go.
And he's going across the rivalries, but yeah, I think it was best for both teams, and both places got to a spot that we're comfortable with, and yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think Chucky started this journey here, and made this big wave in San Diego true, and yeah, I think we're in a good spot now with the ball club, and Moving forward, it's gonna be exciting.
Thank you.
All right.
Did he put them on the map, Darren? Was that the first? That was the first big signing, right? That was the name.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a massive, marketable player. Listen, on the field, Anders Dreyer was the most important player by far. And then then we can have a conversation about who's the second most important player. I wouldn't personally say that it was Chucky. I would say that it was Yeppe. And, again, we can go down this. It's sort of subjective. But in terms of that night at the Rady Shell, I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many players would have brought in that kind of crowd. I suspect not many, frankly. I don't even know if they went out there and let's say they went out and got Son Heung-min, right? The Korean star for LAFC. I don't know. Would he draw that kind of crowd in San Diego? I'm not sure. I don't think so. We'll never know. But he was a massive part of getting this team off the ground, which is what makes it so disappointing. They couldn't figure it out on the field. But as Manny just said, probably best for both teams, and on you go. And we'll see what happens late August when LA Galaxy returns to Snapdragon Stadium. We'll see. I don't know. Do they do a video tribute to him? Do they do anything? Does he get booed and whistled, or will he get celebrated? Or I don't know the answer to that, but I'm excited to find out from the
video
broadcast.
tributes, all the rage. Will the Padres do one for Brandon Lockridge?
The fact that you ask about Chucky Lozano, or the fact that your 6-year-old nephew.
He's 8, and by the way, he's still waiting for his Chucky Lozano jersey.
Well, they're half price.
Well, maybe you can get me one now, huh?
Yeah, but again, he was a massive part. He was really a massive part of this, and to the point where I think some people rightfully ask, was the team did the team sign him? Did the league sort of help navigate this whole situation? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that we'll ever know. He got here before the sporting director and the coach, which, read into what you will. But I wish it had worked out. I do. I just think he probably was at a point in his career where he's like, listen, man, I don't, your tactics board is, I don't want to be coached. I'm Chucky on the show. People want to come out here and watch me blast from 25 yards. And, they're like, no. We have this whole system here. We have this whole system. And it started in Denmark. And it was probably pretty boring to a guy like Chucky Lozano, who's like, what are you talking about? I'm Chucky. I'm 30 years old. I've done all this shit before in the past. But nobody really thought about that, that this team was coming in here with an identity and a structure, and it wasn't going to be built around him. He was going to have to adapt to it, and, it just wasn't really the way it went. He wasn't at that point in his career, Marty. He was just like, what are you talking about? Everybody's wearing this mask of me. Everybody's showing up here with Chucky dolls. I'm the show.
Oh boy.
And, I don't need this coaching in my life. I know I've already won in Europe, and they're like, no, man, that's not the way it's going to go around here. And it just was a bad, it just, it just was sort of a bad blend, but I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it was fun. I went as a fan, and lo and behold, I sat right next to Adrian. Adrian was there as a fan too.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. So the two of us just sat there, and we had a blast. Had a really good time. It was fun.
Okay. Have you been to Petco yet this season?
I think so.
You have?
Yeah.
When?
Early. I think I went.
Let's go to a game.
All right.
Together. Yeah.
All right.
Press box. Maybe you should say no. Okay. Why don't you say hi to Pat Murphy, your boy?
Maybe
we should book him for Fire Territory.
I've been told some people in that clubhouse have seen some of our commentary.
Oh,
they
really?
might like a word.
Does his name start with an S?
First or last name?
Either. I don't know. They were. No, I think you should go.
Yeah, I mean, I won't.
There. And also, I think the new ownership group could be not this homestand.
I want to go to that press
I
conference.
think maybe that next homestand when they play is it the Twins? It's getting close, so we'll see.
Yeah, I would like to go to that press conference.
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll credential me for that. I've asked if they'll credential me, and I think the answer was tentative yes.
Okay, good. I think you should go. Ask some questions. Say hi to Greg's family
tonight?
again. I'm going tonight. I'll go later tonight. Yes, after, first day of school. It's a long day, but I'll go later this evening, right before first pitch.
Okay.
So let me know what you find out on your train to Encinitas to American Legion for those jalapeno barbecue cheeseburgers and your Coors Light. Here's my prediction. If you go, that's a long night. That's not going to be 5 to 7. No, you're there late. You're there late.
I have to get home and watch House of the Dragon.
You do.
You saw it? Just give me a letter grade.
I did. I'm going to watch recaps later. There's a lot there. Do
you listen to the podcast?
I do, but here's the thing. It's a very heavy show. There are certain shows where I watch it one time and I cannot go back and watch it. I could rewatch Game of Thrones, as gory as it was. I could not rewatch Ozarks. I cannot rewatch House of the Dragon. It's just, there are no light moments. There's no levity. It's just so
it's
dark.
not a comedy.
But I'm sorry. But even in Game of Thrones, there were some funny moments, right? None of that. None of that here. Just like,
yeah. And I do have I know the foundational plot. Like I know where some of this is going.
Okay, because you read the books.
I've book stuff and all that thing. But so I know where some of this is going, and it's certainly not the way I wanted to see the show go. But I'm not sure how far we've gone here on the season finale. But then we'll have to wait like 2 more years until the show comes back, and who knows what will be
2 years.
I don't know. I mean, isn't it usually that long?
I hope. Hopefully they filmed everything all at one time and they can do it next year. All I can say is this: I'm not sure what they're doing with Aemond. Like, what's up with this character?
He's got mommy issues.
He's got too many. He has too many emotions. He's just messed up in the head. Too many emotions.
Yeah.
He's a character that our guy Jay Riff would identify with. There's a lot going on up there.
He would give us an entire analysis, right?
But the feelings.
Actually, when you think about it, what do you call that? Oedipus complex. Is that when you want to have sex with your mother?
I don't know.
Or if you're a woman with your father. I think they call it an Oedipus. Oedipus Rex complex.
It's just weird. It's more than that. It's not even about that in this episode. So we'll see. But all right, Darren. It's been
What's a prediction on Casey Mize tonight?
Big, huge bounce back.
Okay.
6 innings. I'm gonna go six. I'm gonna go quality start for Casey Mize. I know. I'm going big. Quality start for Casey Mize. I know he does. By the way,
More
John didn't have to get up. I mean, Mason Miller was warming up until Austin Hayes hit that. I'm gonna keep calling him Austin Hayes. Willie Mays Hayes. Until Hayes hit the home run. So I think, trending, Darren. They're trending in the right direction. Perhaps the Brewers, to your point, are looking ahead to the Dodgers series. Huge series. Because as you know, that's the NLCS showdown.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good way to go into a tailspin is to get caught looking ahead against the Padres while the Padres are actually figuring some things out, and then go up there and get smoked by the Dodgers because then everybody will write you off.
Yep.
So I don't know that does or doesn't matter to them. I feel like everybody's written them off anyway. Like, who cares?
Because it's going to be the Scooble hangover effect.
Yeah.
Right. It's so deep in their heads that, and maybe it is because they face them on Thursday.
We'll see them next later on this week. So, all right, final 3 games of the homestand, and then the Padres hit the road. They go to Cleveland. I think they go to the Mets.
Yep.
Ugh.
I know.
Yeah, not great there. They get to go see their former manager Andy Green.
That's right.
Andres Verde.
That's nice.
Back in the manager's chair.
We got to book Andy Green. Full circle moment, right? Andy Green.
Yeah. Andy Green managing the Mets against Craig Stammen, who he was a manager for when Stammen hit 4 home runs in a game.
Wait, say it again. Andy Green was the manager of the team when Stammen gave up 4 home runs.
Correct.
Wow.
Full circle moment. Very self-deprecating. Like, what idiot would leave that guy out there to give up 4 homers?
You need to book Andy Green for the show. Let's go.
Andres Verde.
Yeah, that was Preller's first hire, right? Andy Green replaced
first full-time manager.
So Pat Murphy was the bridge. Pat Murphy was the bridge to Andy Green.
Correct.
And Andy Green was never hired to win. Andy Green was hired to be the bridge to Jace Tingler.
Yeah.
And their window of opportunity.
That one never made sense.
It did not make sense. And now he's with the Giants. And by the way, speaking of the Giants, I mean, they're stuck with Tony Vitello. They have to pay him. They're already paying Bob Melvin. They're paying this guy. They're gonna have to keep him. They're gonna have to. He'll still be there. We'll see.
Great.
It's a mess. Mess.
Good news
Could be
for everybody
worse.
else in the division.
Exactly. Bingo. All right, Darren, I got to go. I'm really, really busy.
Okay. I'm having
All right.
palm trees removed today out front.
Shout
I
out
don't know how
Scott
we keep
Lewis.
ending up with these palm trees.
I don't know. How do you? Okay, well, Scott Lewis would be proud of you. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, they'd be disappointed that we replanted some and now we have to tear them out.
All right, real quick. Thanks to all of you guys for watching Marty Time TV and the Section 1904 podcast. We're brought to you by the all-new Humboldt Casino Resort, the Players Place. I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys a question, and I would love for you to go ahead and perhaps post some more commentary on our next show, which will be tomorrow, or maybe we'll do more of that chat feature on Thursday or even Wednesday. We'll see how the schedule develops. Maybe we can do a fun show from Petco Park, Darren, on Wednesday. But what's the first thing you want to watch the new owners do when they come on board and they make their announcement and we're here to win to San Diego and you're part of the community? What are some things you want to see from Kwanzaa Jones and Jose E. Feliciano, whether it be a contract, involves a player, Petco Park, the staff, anything? I would love to know your thoughts on what you want from this new ownership group. You know, the easy thing to do for Seidler and Fowler, go back to the brown, right? Give the fans what they want. I'm just curious, what do you do now with this ownership group to go ahead and make a splash when you come on board?
You want a splashy owner?
I think I think
they
you
should go out there and
some sizzle.
find some free agent this offseason and give him $280 million.
Okay, which one? Who do you want? Who's the guy?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Enjoy your Monday. All of you parents and whatnot. Enjoy the first day of school and having some normal time back. So
It's warm.
it's toasty.
It's warm, Marty.
It's-
That's
I
why
know
I'm not
it's-
wearing pants.
That's good to know. Congratulations.
All right. When
All
are we
right,
doing
guys.
Fire Territory, by the way?
Tomorrow. We'll do one tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Yeah. I think we should book Pat Murphy for the show.
Murph,
He's got full circle. What did he learn from AJ?
two-time
Did he
manager
ever-
of the year, by the way.
That's remarkable.
Does probably
Did he-
get some partial credit for this? I think
Yes, he does. By the way, did he interview for the Padres job? I know he was interim. They didn't interview him?
No.
Wow.
No.
So
No. They were like, okay, this has been a disaster.
it was a disaster.
But
But it
and I don't
was
even
a
think in
disaster.
hindsight, I know he had some weird ideas when he got the interim job in 2015. Like
Mm-hmm.
he literally wanted to change the coaches around. He's like, well, what if my hitting coach became
Yeah.
the bench coach, and then
Yeah.
the bench coach became a hitting coach, and then this coach became, and they're like, Murph, like, we're in the middle of the season here, man. Like, what are you doing? You know,
Yeah.
you think Matt Kemp's going to go for this shit?
Oh, dude, Matt Kemp.
You know, not now in hindsight, we're all like, yeah, Matt Kemp was like a massive turd, and maybe Derek Norris was just this huge asshole, and maybe Murph wasn't that bad after all. I don't know. I think now back, I think we had it wrong. I think we probably should have gotten rid of all those other guys and maybe kept Pat Murphy around a little longer. Seriously.
He had Doc on board, right? Dave was on the staff because
Yeah, I think Doc was the bench coach because then he was the interim coach for a day.
right for one day.
And then
Okay.
they promoted Pat Murphy from somewhere in the minor leagues.
He was in
AAA or
AAA.
AA.
He was in
Everybody's
AAA.
like, who is this guy? This guy's like, he's a college coach. What do you mean? Like, we
Yeah.
have to take orders from him.
Yeah.
And like all these dudes, like all these big personalities, guys like Matt Kemp and Derek Norris and James Shields and these, like, they were like, we're not listening to this bozo.
Oh, he had no.
You know, this
chance.
guy who comes in here with his college rah-rah speeches, that's not for us. You know, Justin Upton, they're like, no, this isn't the guy for us.
Do you think he
And,
could make?
and like, it just was weird. It's just like they put him in a weird spot. They did not put him in a position to succeed at all.
He should give tips to Tony Vitello.
Yeah. But, you know, I give him
Seriously,
a ton of
that's a
credit,
big
Marty.
deal.
I thought he would, after that, I thought we would never hear the name Pat Murphy again.
Yeah, same here.
Never. And the fact that he has gone on to Milwaukee to become a two-time manager of the year, like, I think is a huge credit to Pat Murphy. Seriously, like maybe it was not intended to work in San Diego. It wasn't a great idea. But you know, I give him a ton of credit because I would have like put my tail between my legs and gone back to college if I were him, having to deal with those guys in that clubhouse. And you remember that clubhouse? That
Oh,
clubhouse
yes.
was rotten to the core.
Yes.
And yeah, I would have been like, all right, I'm out. These guys all badmouth me. My coaches are literally badmouthing me on the field 50 feet away from me. My own organization doesn't trust me to talk about injuries. This isn't for me. I'm going to, go get a coaching job at Arizona State.
For those of you who are watching, when he talks about they didn't trust Pat Murphy, they would literally have Pat Murphy talk about like the game stuff. And then after that, they would have like the assistant GM right? And he would go ahead and go over the injuries because they did not trust, because he was
Never saw it
giving up.
before.
He was giving up too much information. It was
You'd just
it
be
was
so
quite
blunt.
a
You'd be like,
time.
yeah, that guy's got a broken back. Like, what, Murph? We weren't going to go with that publicly.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's either that or he had to look stupid. And he was like, I'm not, why do I need to look stupid?
I think we should. I think, well, good for him. Yeah,
I agree.
I think
agree.
I think
I'm
he and
happy with
Preller. Yeah, I think he and Preller are still pretty close.
that. Okay.
I think they've
Well,
maintained
you never know.
ties. And I think you should book him for the show. So, Darren, I'm going to go ahead and give you a small little task right now. Put some pants on and book Pat Murphy, and let's do this. Let's talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have to put on pants to book Murph.
Then just don't put pants on and go ahead and book Pat Murphy.
Okay.
Let's go.
See what happens.
All right, guys. That's Darren Smith. I'm Marty Caswell. Thank you so much for watching Marty Time TV and the Section 1904 podcast. We are brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a wonderful Monday. Peace.
It's huge, you know, and when we're going, it's just special, you know, and everybody just gets contagious of it. So, you know, we better keep it up, especially this time of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's important for every team to have their players hot at the same time. That's how you get it going. That's how you win games. So, you know, it's fun to see right now, and we'll keep it going.